All right, everybody. Look, it looks like Jess is not responding. A truck driver actually went over to the shop because his business gave Jess $60,000 to do a build for them. And so, he went back to look, doors closed. He's been evicted. It's an old airplane hangar, and there's actually three of the raffle trucks in the shop. Mother truckers, let's get into today's video. Definitely looks like, I don't think this guy ran out with your money. It looks like he straight up went broke and just couldn't make it happen. But that doesn't mean that he should have done it that way. He should have returned back everybody's money. What's going on, Mother Truckers? Welcome to Mother Trucker News. Emails at mothertruckernews@gmail.com. I've given Jesse a few days to respond, and he has not responded. And so a lot of truck drivers have reposted the video that I've made on social media. And a lot of the truck drivers that were a part of this actually came out of the woodwork and told the truth. They even started a group page called Jesse's Truck Scam. So for people that I don't remember, I'll put the link down to the video that I made. There was a trucking, basically Jesse equipment sales, and they pretty much rebuild trucks, repair, possibly had a trucking company as well, and he was doing giveaways, right? And so I give him an opportunity to respond because a lot of people never got their merchandise. It was some type of raffle type of situation. So here's one right here so that you know really what's going on. My dad won Jess for, he named him. So his name was Jesse. So he was giving away Jesse Truck 1, Jesse Truck 2, Jesse Truck 3, up to like 7 supposedly. So Jess 4. We have seen the truck in person twice. He looked my dad right in the eyes a little over a month ago and said, "I'll get you the title and the truck by the end of July." He won it a year and a half ago. At this point, Jesse is a ghost. I'm sure he's in Mexico somewhere. He gave dad an SOP story on his life and blah, blah, blah. I spoke with the winner of Jess 3. He did get his truck, but it was a pile of ish. Long story short, don't buy a thing from him. He's dust in the wind. And if my old man will ever get the truck is determined, he paid the taxes on it and is pretty upset. So that's one of the winners. So it looks like he did give the first truck away. I guess it was a POS. And Jess 4, basically the driver won this a year and a half ago and never got it, right? So now, here's one that's really important here. A truck driver actually wanted to really clear the air on this and give the information of what is really going on. So a truck driver went to where his shop is, and it's like this old airport, it looks like, and actually took a look himself because Jess was supposed to build him a truck, and he gave them over $60,000 to do it. So let's read into this. It says, Jesse's Equipment was a real business with a good reputation up until the last few months. He was operating out of an airplane hangar, an attached office building, and the retired Reese Air Force Base about 5 miles west of Lubbock. They rent out shops and office buildings on the Air Force Base complex for commercial use, and the runaways are actually all public access. If you know how to wind your way around to them, then that's how we would take the videos and pics driving around on the runway system. I want to clarify that the people that didn't understand how this all happened, my company and I hired Jess to do a ground up restoration and overhaul of our O2 Peterbilt 379 day cab haul truck at the 1st of February this year. At that time, he had just raffled the maroon Kenworth and was still in his shop. He said it was waiting on the final paperwork from the sweepstakes company to release it to the winner. The green flat top Peterbilt from the sweepstakes company to release it to its winner. The green flat top Peterbilt, I believe Jess 4 was also in the shop with the hood and front tires off it. He said it came back because at the time of the raffle, they couldn't get the overhaul kit, but they promised to do the overhaul as soon as the kit came in. At that point, I didn't ask him any more questions because it wasn't any of my concern, but listen up. Those two trucks, as well as the last raffle truck, the baby blue Pete, and are still sitting in the airplane hangar and have been since February. Knew that the merchandise side of things was real, as Jesse took me through the office and showed me the rooms full of hats and hoodies, and all that stuff he had was selling. And sometimes I would go by there to check progress, and him and a few guys would be packing up boxes with a few merch inside. Build was taking way too long than expected. We agreed on 4-month turnaround, and at the rate he was going, it was going to be more like 12. But we get it. Projects like always take longer than expected. We gave him $60,000 up front to buy all the parts he needed for the build. I won't get into all the details of our build, but pretty much just tore our truck down to nothing by a rolling frame with a stripped down cab and bare block. He did build a little big hood for it and painted a cab, and that's about the forward progress he made. At the rest of it scattered about in a semi-organized fashion over 1/4 of that airplane hangar. That's how it remains today. We started getting real suspicious, skeptical, and impatient in June. He had us over a barrel. We couldn't hardly gather it all up and take it anywhere else, and we already gave him $60,000. He always seemed to be smooth over on our concerns, and they would work on it just enough to give us a little bit of hope. We poked around a couple of months back and looked at the interior of the Maroon Kenworth and the Blue Pete, and both of which were incomplete and pretty much gutted. And I knew he never done any motor work on the Blue Pete, just dolled up the outside so he could take pictures. It was becoming more and more evident that he was out of money and he was stalling, waiting for a miracle to happen. The last time I saw Jess was August 4th. I gave him every opportunity to come clean and tell us to come get our truck and parts, but he insisted that he would be able to finish it, no problem. My back went out on me shortly after that visit. I haven't been able to get to the shop until today, but I've been seeing all the comments about him arise, and I was afraid of what I would find. And so it says here, what we found was a locked up shop with a notice of the locked out from the landlord, Reese Technology Center, posted on the door. We were able to poke a phone in between the sliding hangar doors and snap a couple of pictures to verify our truck was still there. You can barely see it in the far back corner, but it's there along with the 3 raffle trucks. Jess is long gone. Phone's off. I'll probably never ever see him again. We talked to the lady in charge of the complex, and she told us he was way behind on rent, and she saw this coming and was tried to get him to shut down and give people their stuff in a clean manner, and they would let him out of the lease. Now they are left with the mess of sorting out what is and whose is whose. So, I mean, this goes all the way on, right? And, you guys can read it for yourself, but, he says, now I do not know that for a fact, but for sure it makes a lot of sense. I'll go ahead and post the pictures we took through the door this morning. Wish I would have taken some back when I had the chance. Just ever meant to scam anybody, and I sure don't think he ran off with everyone's money, as living it up somewhere is just another case of a guy running a business in the ground and then disappearing, leaving people high and dry, owing a ton of money and failing to deliver services he promised. So they're thinking he's in Mexico somewhere. Nut Truckers, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this. Definitely a long read here. Appreciate the truck driver for making sense of everything. But yeah, there's pictures. There's pictures of the raffle trucks. Looks like he stopped paying rent, and that was really that. So, Nut Truckers, comment down below. But yeah, I think Jess is somewhere in Mexico, like they said. And some of the winners of the trucks, one's in the shop right there, and the other ones were just, never given out. So there you go. There you have it.